Hey guys, this episode is powered by the Green Up Academy. If you guys are looking for courses, community, or coaching for your green industry business, we are the one-stop shop to get that done with myself and soon other green industry leaders. So if you guys are struggling, if you're at a crossroads in your business, if there's some issues you have, I had a guy this week ask about a P&L and how to read that properly. There's so many great things. Or if you're just looking for community, the Green Up Academy, guys, has been transformational for many, and it can be transformational for you. So hit us up at thegreenupacademy.com and join us. Thanks, guys.
Welcome to the Green Up Academy podcast with Alex Kirby, where we focus on helping you level up your green industry business. Whether it's marketing, finance, employees, or strategy, we talk about everything on this show to help you apply it to your business and change your family and company's future for decades to come. Here's your host, Alex Kirby.
Hey guys, what's going on? Alex, the Green Up Academy podcast. In today's episode, we have a very unique episode. We have a guy named Mr. Mike Arch, a really nice guy. He's got a business in the Chicago area in Illinois. And in this episode, you're going to see me kind of struggle through a little bit of knowing where to take it, because I don't really know Mike besides him asking to be on the show. I had posted on socials, and it was really good to talk to him. He's a very nice guy, a family man, Catholic guy, super good. But you'll see me try to figure out where he wants to go with his business, because he's doing a certain amount of revenue where he's kind of stuck. And I kind of don't know how to get him to realize it's going to take a little bit of gas in the engine, so to speak, to get this car moving more. So Mike is a really smart guy when it comes to snow removal and stuff, and I think there's a lot of insights you can learn here on our discussion. So y'all check it out, but you'll see me try to navigate these waters here. And so watch this episode with Mike and tell us what you think. Thanks, guys. All right, everybody, this is the Green Up Academy podcast with Alex Kirby, and I have my new friend here, Mike Arch from, Mike, I'm not going to try to say where in Chicago, but you're going to tell me here in a minute, Chicago, Illinois, greater area. And Mike, how we doing? Tell us a little bit about you and your company and kind of the exact area you're at.
So I'm headquartered in Lake in the Hills, Illinois. It sounds a lot prettier than it actually is, but it's the northwest suburbs, basically at the very outskirts of the Chicago suburbs. Okay. And on the northern side, about 13 miles from the Wisconsin border, in McHenry County, which is the county, Lake County's off of Lake Michigan, and then McHenry's next to it. So I'm pretty far out there, but it's kind of nice because I get both the city, like that suburban areas, and I also have a lot of rural areas as well to be able to take care of and just enjoy too.
How far are you from like Wrigley Field?
I don't know exactly how far I am from Wrigley Field, but downtown Chicago, as the crow flies, is 42 miles.
Okay, so you're an hour away drive-wise.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. I always like asking because in South Carolina, I'm 21 minutes from downtown, our capital. And so most people would say if they live within 30 minutes, they live in the greater area. But all the metro areas that I know, Atlanta, Chicago, you say an hour. You're like, oh, yeah, I live in the greater Chicago, which is double what people here would say. So I think that's fascinating.
It's kind of interesting. Chicago is actually very big north to south.
Sure.
So if I were to go to south, like where they consider the end of the Chicago, like down to Kankakee, it takes me a good 2.5, 3 hours maybe to get there. So that's awesome. So Mike, you were telling me off air that you just how many years have you been full time in the lawn and landscape business? Is this year number 1 full time? So I've been full time for 4 years now. Okay. This will be my 5th year.
Okay.
Full time in the lawn and landscape business. I was doing snow removal prior to that, so I'd have about 3 years more beyond lawn and landscape and dealing with snow removal. I'm one of those weird guys. I started in snow and then went into grass as opposed to going into snow. So
that's interesting. So kind of give us people a little bit about you. What made you start in the business? What
what made you go full time? What were you doing before you went full time? Kind of give us the 1 minute scenario there.
So to give you just a quick lowdown, I was working over the summer, and what I was doing was cutting grass for the city. That was year one, summer season one, I guess you can say. I was cutting grass for the city, really enjoyed the job, and I was really looking at getting into municipal work and doing that, public works kind of work. And what ended up happening was year two happened. And I did my snow thing over the winter. And then year two happened. I went back to the city. They decided to hire out to a private company for all the mowing. So I was still worked for the city, but now I was in a different department. I was in the streets department. So I was shoveling asphalt and doing a lot of that kind of thing. And I realized I'm going to go do this, that this is the job I'm going to have, which I didn't mind too much, but it was really a lot of the corporate politics that really got to me. Right. So it was at that point in time I said, well, I like cutting grass. I've already got a heads up with a pretty good customer base with the snow removal. So why don't I just hit them up and see if they need any mowing and just start my business from there.
Sounds good.
So that was the whole conception of everything, because just going from, I didn't want to deal with the corporate politics. I'm going to, mandate the politics in my own business kind of a thing.
So you told me off air your revenue's projected for this year to be 50,000. When I hear you say that number, doesn't seem livable. How do you make that happen? Help me understand.
My wife makes a lot of money.
Oh, you got the real life hack.
Yeah, exactly.
So you get to decide, hey, I can do whatever I want as fast as I want.
Right.
That's
exactly,
cool, man.
And I mean, the thing is, one of the big issues I have, and this is my wife doing this to me.
Yeah.
She doesn't like me advertising.
Why is that?
It seems like every time, I come up with some advertising dollars, she's like, oh, but we should pay this bill off, or we should pay that bill off. And then it ends up being that we end up paying that bill off instead of me putting out some kind of advertising.
That makes sense.
So that's one of the things that's kind of slowing me down. One of the things that I've done recently is taken the personal account, because for quite a while, you start the business, you're using your personal checking account.
Yeah.
And this last couple of years, I've separated the two. So I have my own business account, and we have our personal checking account. And then last year, they did this awesome thing with my savings account for the business, where I'm actually able to, when people pay me via credit card, money will automatically go straight from the checking into whatever account I set up. So I can actually partition everything, that whole profit first idea. So I can take and put 10%, that's my owner's comp, and put another 10% in, or actually I have 15% for taxes, and then 20% for insurance, and so on and so forth. So it breaks everything up, and everything's already compartmentalized. So I can keep on not having to go into debt for things.
I just learned about profit. I don't know how this is possible because of the space I'm in, but I just learned about Profit First, and I ordered the book the other day to read, because apparently a lot of the things I teach to our students and stuff is Profit First-esque. So I was like, I'll read it. So I just heard that. But yeah, I was talking to are you familiar with our crew community group? Are you familiar with that at all through the Green Up Academy?
No.
Okay, so through our academy, we have a group where guys pay a small monthly fee, and we have bi-weekly Zoom calls where we talk through topical discussions to grow your business. And this last Monday, 2 days ago, was about finance. And so I was talking about, hey, you've got to have multiple checking accounts and savings accounts to for capital expenditures for the future. And one of the guys was like, hey, that's what Profit First teaches, and I had no idea. So that's great. So what if you're doing about this type of revenue, that means you're not per se full, right? So you're doing 3 days a week in the field, 2 days a week in the field. What's that looking like? So
yeah, I'm doing about 3 days a week out in the field for regular mowing. The landscaping, I try to maintain it so that I have Monday, Tuesdays available to deal with any additional lawn care work, core aeration, that kind of thing, as well as any of the landscaping work, if people need mulch or planting or anything like that. Sure. So, but come summer, I am basically only doing, mowing for the most part.
Sure.
Because it's too hot. Nobody wants anything done even.
Absolutely. It gets, I don't know about you. I'm in South Carolina, and you can imagine how hot it gets here. Most people don't know we're only 2 hours from Florida, so it's basically Florida, and it's crazy hot. So Mike, what's kind of your dream with your business? Let's kind of talk philosophical for a minute. Why are you in this business? What are your hopes, dreams, aspirations type stuff?
My biggest dream for my business and growing in the future is actually to get a crew. I want to be able to just deal with admin. I want to be able to basically get a crew, be able to have someone else do anything that pertains me to have to leave out of the field, and just basically handle the admin so that I could technically work from home. I guess you can say the best possible way. But really what I like to do is be able to work from home, but really be traveling at that same time. So I don't mind answering phones. I don't mind talking to customers. I don't mind dealing with all the customer issues and that kind of thing over the phone. But what I'd like to be able to do is set up a crew so that I can just deal with that admin stuff, and that they can be out in the field working, and I can, enjoy my best life, I guess you can say.
Is that like, I'm going to ask a hard question. Have you ever met a person in this industry that gets to work from home and be in the lawn care industry?
No, usually they pull themselves completely out of the business.
Well, what I'm saying is you would be the first that I've heard of. Now, if you're talking, I want to be the admin and ops person and I want to have a crew, I see that all the time. But if you're trying to say I want to be in Bora Bora and answer the phones, I don't know about that, dude.
I think it's doable and possible, but hey, I got dreams and we'll find out, I guess.
The reasons why I don't, and you said you didn't. This is interesting. You didn't really know me. I had a $1.7 million company. I sold it in September of last year, and had 20 in the field guys, 16 full time, 4 seasonal, and then we had 4 in the office, 2 managers, operations director, and admin. And I have been blessed to talk to some of the best people in the country. It's just service and trades, unless you get it to tens of millions of dollars. It's just not a type of business because it's, something's breaking, someone quit, someone didn't show up. It's just not a business where you can like answer the phone from a cruise ship like I like to go on. We're big cruise people. So it's one reason why I sold my business. But what I hear you saying, have you thought about, so I had 8 crews. So I'd love, if you want to talk about what crew growth looks like, I'd love to talk about it. If you have any questions or thoughts on that, I'd love to help you think through that.
But yeah, my biggest thought is not so much to be able to, but being able to take just get away from it for like a full week.
Oh, okay, dude. The way you posed that was like, I want to
maybe then take a week.
Forget it.
Yeah, right, but
got it.
Take a week off, and then take a week on, take a week off, take a week on, or something like that.
That's very doable, very, very doable.
So, but yeah, the idea is just to have a little bit more summertime, I guess you can say. If I had the ability, I would probably just drop mowing altogether and just do snow removal. I really love snow removal a lot more than the actual mowing aspect of things. And just the time of year, I'd rather be stuck in one place during the winter when it's cold and can't go anywhere. But
I wish
then during the summer when there's all kinds of fun stuff to do.
That's a great idea. I just recently, I can't remember his name. I was talking in like a group with somebody, and this guy is only doing Christmas lights and snow removal. And he was doing like $150,000 in 4 months of work. And I was like, gosh, that's a really cool idea. Do you know anybody that does that? I don't know anybody.
No, I did meet a guy once though. He actually folded his business. And he was like, it was because the business was running him.
Okay.
He wasn't running the business was running him. He had multiple crews, and it was always something coming up. And it's like, he's like, I wanted to stay married, is what his basic premise was. So he just went into doing spring and fall services, basically core aerations and dethatching. It was his primary thing, and then got a regular full-time job. And I think he said he was still doing snow removal. Yeah. He kept a few customers, but not a lot. But he was like, my customers know I work a full-time job, so it's either going to happen before then or after that time. So
sure,
and they're okay with that.
So then, what's your plan?
Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Jobber. If you guys do not use or have not heard of Jobber, it is the leading CRM in the green industry and really the home and service and trades businesses, period. I mean, they are just incredible for all of your needs for quoting, invoicing, scheduling, routing. I mean, it can do it all, guys. It's really, really important in today's day and age for you to be able to contact your customers. It has a portal for your customers to see requests, ask for requests, approve quotes. So it's just so good to use the CRM, and it's very affordable. They have different plans for different places in your business. So if you guys are looking to try out a CRM and you're sick of doing pen and paper, you might not even do pen and paper. You might be on another software that's just not meeting all the needs that you hoped, and you're just kind of making it work. Y'all check out Jobber. We've got 20% off your first 6 months with our link, and also and you get a free trial for a couple weeks as well. So make sure you guys check out Jobber. Please go and click it. It literally takes no time to just sign up and fiddle around and mess with it. You're not gonna regret it. I ran my multi-million-dollar company off of it for 5 years, and it was a breeze, and our crew leaders loved it. So you guys go check it out and tell me what you think. Thanks, guys.
What's your plan so far for growing the revenue if you want to get to a crew? Just so you know, the rule of thumb down here, and I teach most people, is you need to do about 120 grand in revenue per employee to have a crew. So that'd be 250 with a 2-man. So what's your goal to go from 50 to 250?
So flyers don't work in my area for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I can count on one hand out of the thousands of flyers I've passed out how many calls I've gotten, and I don't need any hands to tell you how many have booked. So flyers really are not a very hot commodity. One of the things that has been very good for me for new leads is I've been partnering up because I don't do any kind of chemical treatments.
Yeah.
And I partnered up with a guy that all he does is chemical treatments.
Nice.
So I refer him for the chemical treatments. He refers me for basically everything else. And he's been huge with getting me leads. And ultimately, I'm going to start trying to look into more print media, just see if the old school works. Facebook has not been hitting for me either, although I really haven't put the revenue out in Facebook to really make a huge impact on that yet. But you know, that's also on my radar as well. Been working on getting building up my business page, my Google My Business page, and getting that all built up with getting the reviews and everything down there. And
where are you at with the website? Where are you at with that?
I have a website. It's something I built myself.
Okay.
I do actually have some ability. I have a degree in communications. I technically went to school for this kind of stuff, so I built it myself. I have to do a whole big revamp because I really have to kind of change the direction of where I'm headed with my business.
Sure.
Per se, and how people perceive me. Because originally when I started, I literally had people thinking I was a big company with the way my advertising looked and everything else. They thought I was like a really big company. I'm like, nope, it's just me, me and my snowblower.
Yeah.
And, that was one of the big perceptions that I created as a big company. And I just want people to like understand, no, this is small. It's family run, I need to get a picture of my family up on the webpage.
Yes, you do.
And, instead of just a bunch of pictures of wheelbarrows of mulch and, lawnmowers and stuff like that. So,
well, the first thing we talk
more personal.
So I have a marketing company. That's our main thing is we have Green Up and then we have Backbone Creative. And what we tell people we make dozens and dozens of websites a year, and you're right on track with what you're saying. If you can make your website tell your story, that's the win. Stories and sales. How do you get people to make actions on it for sales? And how do you get people to be captured by your story? So, dude, how many kids do you have, Mike?
I have one kid, his son, 10 years old.
Awesome. So if you get to tell your family-owned business is your story, if, serving your community, kind of write out what you feel like your story is of your company, we do this because we love serving this area. We've lived here our whole life. Beautification is our passion, whatever it is. Then you make sure the website correlates with that story, with your family, with beautiful photos, with you on a mower. I mean, even you should hire a photographer for a 4-hour shoot, to make content. But this goes back to the issue you said earlier, which is like, my wife doesn't like me spending money on the business kind of.
Exactly.
So, I mean, so then that's the question is, how do you get her on board? Have you had that conversation with her about, honey, if I don't invest in, it's like planting a seeds, right? If I don't plant seeds, I can't have a field. How's that conversation go?
So the conversation as it's worked is that she's on board. Right now, it's just a matter of, because I don't want to deal with any kind of debt building the business.
Amen.
So it's just a matter now of building up those accounts so that I have the money to shift to the advertisement and everything else, and when I'm only putting 10% of, $40 mows on.
Yeah, because you're doing about $3,200 in revenue a month, $3 to $4,000. Yeah, so $300. Yeah, that's where Mike and I know each other. I'm a big debt free guy. I don't know if you knew that. So,
I'm pretty big on being debt free as well. That's one of my wife's biggest things too, is the debt free thing. She doesn't want to go into debt with the business.
Are you debt free currently?
With the business? Well,
yes, sir. Yeah, business. Yeah.
I have some debt.
Tell the story. Let me hear it.
I have some debt. It's with the bank of mom and dad, though.
I've never heard that. Bank of mom and dad. That's good.
The truck that I'm driving is my dad's old truck. He decided to buy a new truck. I think my mom basically said, either you give your truck to, Mikey, or, you don't get a new pickup truck. So he wanted to make sure that he gave me a good enough deal on the truck that I took it. So I still owe him money on the truck. And then he also loaned me money for a snowplow for the truck. But it's one of those things. It's like pay it when you got it, no interest. So it's the best kind of loan to have.
It is. That's more of a, if I don't see the money, it's a gift type thing.
Yeah.
What kind of truck is it?
It's a 2004 Dodge Ram 1500.
Oh man, I love Dodge. I drive a Dodge 2500 Cummins, so I'm all about the Rams, man. All about the Rams.
I got the 5.7 Hemi.
Love that. I had before my company and our fleet, we had 4 Ram 1500 Hemis, and we had 2 box trucks and then 2 3500 flatbeds. That's what I love Rams. I think they're the best work truck in America. I talk about it a lot. I don't know if you said you haven't listened. I joke about Toyota doesn't make a work truck. Literally, they don't make one. Fords fall apart is the joke I make. And then I'm okay with Chevys and Rams. I think Chevy 1500s are fine. And then Ram,
That's the funny thing is because my dad became this big Ram fan. And growing up, we only had Chevys. We always had Chevy Suburbans.
We just bought a Suburban
because we needed a minivan and we needed a truck at the same time. So
what'd you have, like 5 brothers and sisters?
I had there was 4 kids, so 2 sisters and a brother.
Cool. Yeah, we have 3 kids, and we're like, my wife was like, I need a Suburban. So I've never had anything other than Toyotas and Rams until the Suburban, but I like it. I like it a lot. So Mike, okay, so you're trying to go from 50 to growth. Let's talk about, I'd love to kind of give you a couple ideas that would be good for the audience when it comes to what we call by the way, we have free courses on the Green Up Academy, and one of them is marketing, and it's like 12 lessons. So you could literally rocket through them, and it's completely free to watch. But one of the things we talk about in the lessons is boots on the ground marketing, which is just like grinding it out. And you said flyers didn't work good for you, but door hangers done well. And let me kind of they're a little bit better. One thing that we do down here in South Carolina is we would put the price on the door hanger. Did you guys do that on your flyers?
No.
So what you do is you go into a neighborhood where all the lots are about the same size, and you make the door hanger like off Vistaprint. It says lawn care estimate $45 a cut. So you've already told them the price without having to go meet with them. So then they get the door hanger. They're like, wait a second. I can get this for $45. They call, hey, is this price for real? Yep. Okay, sign me up. Like 80% of the work is already done. So that's something that you could do easily is price with the door hanger on it. You can write it in with Sharpie. That's what my wife and I did when we did 10,000 early on. The second thing is on social media. You're saying, I think you were talking about ads on social media hasn't gone well for you.
Yeah.
Try to do this 30 days of consistency where you just post twice a day for 30 days. So don't even worry about boosting it. But if you can consistently post on your social media channels, and then also, I'm sure you guys have this, but for sailor wanted groups are really, really popular on Facebook down here. So go in these community groups in your Facebook platform and post your information there for 30 days. I think if you do those two things, you'll be pretty surprised by the response. When you started, another thing, did you text everybody in your phone? Hey, it's Mikey. I'm in business. Call me.
I did not. And one of the reasons why is I'm actually, at the time I started the business, I was fairly new to my area.
Okay.
So I really didn't know anybody in my area.
Sure.
What was nice was at the time, Nextdoor was actually taking off.
Yeah, Nextdoor. I love it.
And they were not really, you could post up there. They weren't like trying to charge for ads or anything.
Yeah.
Now they're really kind of cracking down on that kind of stuff. But that was really how I took off. Really,
cool.
When I first started off, it was dealing with snow. We get a snowstorm, post an ad on Nextdoor. Next thing you know, calls would be flooded in.
Very cool.
So
what's kind of been kind of wrapping up here? What do you feel like is something that is your greatest challenge that you're trying to work through?
My greatest challenge, as far as what, dealing with growth or
anything that's keeping you up at night right now.
Just the to-do list.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing. And I'm one of those people too that I have to do it myself.
Yeah.
It's one of those, and it's difficult for me to take my car in to get the oil changed. I have to do it myself. It's, which reminds me the car needs an oil change.
Are you using Jobber, Yardbook, anything?
So I'm using Square.
Okay.
As a CRM, and I find it to be pretty effective. They've put in a lot of tools recently for the service industry. It's still primarily for retail, but it's really not too terribly bad. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep that up if I deal with employees and things like that, but right now it's free and It works well. I can send my invoices out and people can pay online and all that fun stuff. So,
cool. Well,
plus all my bank accounts are through them as well.
Yeah,
so
makes it simple. Yeah. What are Mike? What are some final things? Anything you? I love getting to know about your business, and I think it's fascinating. It's not often that I get to talk to guys who are like in that early stages, and they're looking to. It's fun, right? I usually get to talk to the guy who's been doing it and doing 10 years and 200 grand and same type of caulk. So it's fun to hear you talk through like, man, I'm a one-man band, and I think people forget. It's like, it's really difficult when you're at that size because you've got to do, you're the admin assistant, you're the HR department, you're the customer relations, you're the salesman, you're the laborer. And it's like, I think people forget how hard that is sometimes. So, I mean, do you have any final thoughts or any final questions as we wrap up?
Not that I can think of right now. One of the things that I had started doing this year, and I have to get on my wife about doing this. She actually volunteered to do basically social media stuff and do all the postings and stuff for social media. She hasn't been doing.
I'm so what's her full-time job?
I have to have a difficult conversation with my one employee that works for me for free.
You got to suspend her without pay.
Yeah, she's already suspended herself, I guess. But
what's her full-time job?
She is a technical writer.
I have no idea what that is.
So she writes manuals.
Oh, okay.
Part of a team that writes the manuals.
So you're going to have no issues with standard operating procedure handbooks down the line.
Hopefully not. As I refer to her as, she's a grammar Nazi.
Wow.
So everything is punctuation. Everything's going to be perfect in them.
Blessing and a curse, right?
It's kind of ironic because we were talking to my son's teacher recently, and she was talking about how because I'm a communications major from college, so I love form of writing, like getting the wording just right. And she's an English major, so she loves punctuation and everything else. She was talking about it. My son, it's like he writes so well, and he's so worried about grammar. He corrects my grammar. I'm like, yeah. That's what happens.
And I'm down here sounding like a hick saying y'all and ain't and no you can't and all that. So whatever. It works out. Cool, Mike. Well, I've enjoyed talking to you, Mike. However I can be of help to you, brother. And this is going to come out here in a couple weeks. So if you got any final thoughts, let me know. But this has been great, Mike. This is the Green Up Academy podcast. We talk about how to level up your business in the green industry, however we can, from business to finance to marketing. We got to talk to Mike here, guys, about what it looks like. And it reminds us, I think, to do everything early and how to systematize as you grow. And Mike, I think the last thing I'll leave you with is make sure you go and spend a little bit of money. Don't be too tight and keep doing what you're doing. Because I think that if you dominate snow, like Chicago allows you most years, and you can offer these services, you'll get to 100,000 pretty quickly, I think. So enjoyed it, brother, and thank you so much for being on.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. Before I sign off, I was one thing I can talk about really quick. Yeah. I do actually have my own YouTube channel called This Old Relic, and basically it's about lawn care, landscape. I take you through either whatever projects I'm working on, fixing in the shop or something like that, or sometimes it's some little bit of business advice. And just trying to help, especially the new guys out there, trying to get to know the business a little bit better, how to price and that kind of thing, and all that kind of stuff. So you can want to check that out on YouTube. It's called This Old Relic. So
awesome. Yeah, you guys check that out. Mike's got a YouTube channel. Y'all go check it out, and it's probably really fun and personable. So we'll look forward to that. Mike, we'll put that in the show notes. And thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
And good. Awesome, Mike. Thank you so much, man. Enjoyed that.
All right.
Good. Thank you. We'll, Mac, we'll let him know when it's coming out. Let him know it's coming out so we can, how many subs you got, Mike?
568, I think, is the last I checked.
Cool. Is that a passion for you? You really enjoy that?
I do enjoy it. When I went to college, the whole premise that I wanted to do was go into the news media.
Yeah.
And I want to do print media because I got a perfect face and voice. I got the perfect face for radio, but I have a horrific voice for it. So, I decided I want to do print media. The problem is print media is dying. Yeah. So it just allows me to kind of, do that kind of news kind of stuff too, because that's one of the other things I pop in there with is I'll do like lawn care news and, what's going on in the landscape industry, kind of a news, recalls and that kind of thing. And cool. Every once in a while, I'll put a report out on that. It's just a lot of fun because I get to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I get to do it on my own terms. So
absolutely. Well, we'd love to have you a part of our crew. That's an area where there's a lot of guys that I do a biweekly call, and guys who are growing, guys who are at 200, 300, 400K. And that way you can learn how to grow. I think sounds like you're in growth mode. So I think it'd be beneficial for you.
All right.
Cool. Thanks so much. All right. We'll see you next time, Mike. See ya.
All right. Thanks.
Guys, we are officially launching our rebrand from Pure Marketing Agency to Backbone Creative here at the beginning of June. And we are a full-service agency focused on blue-collar and what we call backbone businesses that are the backbone of their industries, communities, and their employees. So if you are looking for a website, if you've been holding on and maybe renting your website, paying a monthly fee, and if you don't pay it, then they take it away. We've got website packages. We've got full-service marketing packages. What comes with social media management, Google Ads management, reviews, email marketing, you name it. We do it all to help you do one thing. That's grow your business, get more customers, grow your profits and revenue, and tell your story to more people. So make sure you hit us up. Literally free quote, free audits of your websites, all that stuff. We're not pressuring you to do anything, but we know where our results come from, and they're really, really strong. So make sure you hit us up, Backbone Creative, guys. You can hit us up through Instagram, website. It's going to be launching in a couple weeks. So you can email me at Alex at backbonecreativecode.com. That'd be the best place. Or currently you can keep using our current website, but you're going to like the new rebrand, I hope, and can't wait to show you guys. Thanks.